Hi everybody, it's Dr. Gemma, and I'm recording this on Thursday, March 19th, 2020, and we are right in the grip of the first frenzy of anxiety over coronavirus here in the US. And I'm recording this from quarantine. I'm sick. We have no idea if I have coronavirus, and we probably never will know because they couldn't test me because we don't have enough tests in our state. And the government is hastening to tell us that we do, and we frankly don't. Sorry, my notes are going wonky. Here we go. All right, so we don't. And so there's a lot of anxiety, and we have no predictable end in sight. We don't know how long this is going to last, and we don't know what would mark the ending of it. So we might be stuck in this situation for a few weeks, and after that, I don't even know how to predict it. So this seems like a good time for a cognitive psychologist to talk to you about how we handle the situation we're in. The first thing is to realize it will end, all right? And at a moment like this in Cog-B therapy, we use what's called worst case scenario. What is the worst case scenario? Now, this is the absolute worst case, right? They're developing a vaccine, and we can't come out till they develop a vaccine. The CDC has said they think it's going to be a year to 18 months is the most recent thing I've heard. That means this goes on for 2 years. Do we all stay locked in our houses for 2 years? I doubt it, because I think we can assume that we are, touching my face, we can assume that we are adaptive and we are going to find ways to manage it. I can already prove that, and this is another strategy. It's called research. Okay, the schools in California were told, okay, you're closing tomorrow, bang. And they weren't ready. Most of them did not have online programs. Well, they did 24 hours later. By the way, be really nice to teachers because we owe them for this. And I think it's an amazing mark of how adaptable humans are that schools went from in-person literally the next day online. And it only took them 24 hours to scrape together something, and they're improving on it. So it started with, Google's online program for teaching, and with packets they already had for kids who go home sick or whatever, and has just been expanding into real-time online teaching. And teachers are, I'm sure, altering their lesson plans, even as I speak, to accommodate this. But this adaptability is the reason you should not be afraid. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about how badly this was handled initially. You could go on forever, but the reality is now our job is to survive it, okay? Positivity is going to work better than negativity. We can sit around and panic, or we can sit around and we can talk about what works and how we do it, all right? So let's start with, why am I in quarantine? I got sick. I started seeing my patients online this past Saturday, because I felt like I was starting to ache. And I immediately transitioned everybody to online, and I've been doing it ever since. It works great. And I've been respecting the quarantine rules, and you should too. You find those at the Center for Disease Control website, cdc.gov, okay? That should be your first resource for all the information you need, cdc.gov. Nobody else. I don't care if it's a politician or it's a news service, cdc.gov. Let's get all our news from the same place, shall we? That's probably the safest bet. Next, observe quarantine and social distancing. Okay, so I had a fever on Monday, and so the fever was gone Tuesday morning, and so the quarantine rule is I don't even leave the house until 72 hours after the fever is gone. Because I don't know if I have corona, I may be extending that to a full 14 days, but I think I've probably done the damage there I'm going to do. So I'm following the cdc.gov rule, which is give it 72 hours. Okay, social distancing, even in your home, if people are leaving the home, people have to be 6 feet apart as much as you can stand that. Pardon me. You have to clean surfaces in your home. When you're cleaning surfaces, please observe basic chemical law, which is to say people keep trying to mix chlorine, bleach with other things. Don't do that. Chlorine is a very strong base. If you mix it with anything acidic like vinegar, you're going to make water plus a deadly gas, because the chlorine itself will release in gaseous form and it'll make you sick, if not worse than sick, all right? So please Chlorine diluted by water, the water activates it, okay, is enough on a surface. Vinegar is just fine. It's a great cleaning solution. You don't need to make it worse. Vinegar is acetic acid, and it works really well as a disinfectant as well. If you should be lucky enough to have a mask, wear it when you're outside among people. Now, if you're just walking to the car, no. But if you're in a store and you expect to have fairly close contact, you should be wearing the mask if you have it. Hoarding is a natural human response. We do it when we're frightened, like many mammals who have the tendency to store food. So people are going to hoard. Take a deep breath and get used to it. But while you're doing that, remember, there actually are no shortages. Production is going on just fine for toilet paper and food. Farmers work out in the middle of empty fields. They're not sitting side by side with each other on the plow. So we're not expecting food shortages. We're not expecting water shortages. We're not talking about turning off the power or the water. Okay? So please, take a deep breath. If you're going to hoard something reasonable. And while you're on the subject, please don't forget to store some, you should have a week's worth of food for your pets. Don't forget the animals, all right? Meanwhile, let's not forget basic hygiene. Yeah, we all know this. We need to be washing our hands at least once an hour and 20 seconds. So you can sing happy birthday to you, or you can follow one of those delightful online memes where they give you a song from more popular culture that takes 20 seconds or more to sing. If you're going to give an object to someone, please quarantine it first. Corona seems to live on surfaces for up to 4 days. So, food, if you're going to give people food, you got to be real careful about that. If you're giving that to your neighbors or something, you better be sure you use some pretty safe food handling. But in the meantime, anything else, like if you make them a present or knit them a scarf, 4 days before you give it to them, just put it in a corner somewhere and don't let anybody touch it. All right. And then we get into, now we got to live together. Okay, and I'm going to be posting as I go here lists of things. I sat down and came up with like 49 or 50 things you can do while you're at home together. My co-host, Minerva the cat, has just jumped partly into the frame there. There's her tail. Wait a minute. There's her tail. Okay. So I'll put those up on this screen so you can see that. All right. But remember, it's important when you're working with people, don't let it turn into punishment. All right. If you're going to be home a lot with your kids and other family members, please remember there's 2 basic ways to discipline. There's the least effective, which is punish. You do something wrong, I take something away from you. I'm not even going to go into physical punishment because I don't believe in it. All the research shows you shouldn't be doing it. Striking children is just a shameful thing for an adult to do. You're supposed to have self-control, kids. All right, but meanwhile, I do recognize there are times it happens. Kid puts their hand into the hot burner of the stove. You're going to smack their hand away. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. Excuse me. Okay. Sorry. But in the meantime, there's punish, and then there's the other side, the best thing you can do, which is reward. What is reward? You do a good behavior, you get a reward. Why do we like reward better? Hands down, it has been shown over and over again that rewarding works, whereas punishing really is very unsatisfying, although we do it at times. All right? So what are we going to do to reward? Well, I will go into reward and punish in a different video where I talk about, positive consequences and all that. But I'm going to do the short version. My notes just blinked out. Okay, I'm going to do the short version here. Short version is this. When I go to work, I love my job, and I'm very lucky that I do, but I also expect to be paid for it. And I expect to be paid fairly and routinely for it. So working for a living is an adult skill. Working to earn something is an adult skill. You're earning a paycheck, all right? So when you teach your children that, you're teaching them one of the most important adult skills they will ever learn. Now, let's be honest here. I love my job, but I'd really rather sit in a chair and knit. To do that, I have to buy yarn. To buy yarn, I have to make money. So I can think about it that way. If you say, hey, I'll give you money if you do this therapy thing, I can think, I can use that to buy yarn and food and a house. I'll do that, okay? That's the way we want kids to think. That's the way we want adults to think. So you can teach your kid to think that way, and you will be making them a more successful person in the future, all right? So it works like this. You have to be ahead of them. I want you to use your experience to do this. Punishment, when you do something bad, I take something from you, that comes from high emotion. I'm mad. You just did something wrong. I'm going to punish you, okay? Punishment, it's very hard to keep the negative emotion out of it. That's why it is so unsuccessful. That's why we're not big fans of it here in therapy land, because it often involves one person losing their temper, getting angry, getting out of self-control. We don't like that, all right? So we want to avoid that. Although there are times, I mean, parents do learn to punish neutrally. I told you not to do that. You did that. You're losing half an hour on the computer. Sure. Parents can do it neutrally, but we have to be careful because it often slips into abusive behavior on the more powerful person's part. So rewards work from the powerful person using their experience to plan in advance. And this is where adults have it in spades over kids. So I'm going to be home with my kids tomorrow. What does kindly Dr. Massey tell you to do? First of all, have a family meeting. Let's say tonight is Thursday. So you have a family meeting and you say, okay, everybody, if we all get along without any quarreling until bedtime tomorrow and Friday, on Saturday, we're going to have a special dessert. I'll make it on Friday, okay? Or if we make it till dinner time, we have the special dessert. Anybody who makes it to dinner time without fighting gets the dessert, all right? So that way, you get your family in on it. They know what to expect. And all day long, instead of saying, don't do that, I'm taking away something, you can say, hey, before you get started, do you want that dessert tonight or don't you? Remember, special dessert, okay? So you can be prompting them in a positive, friendly way, not threatening them, which is what we want you to avoid because that raises your emotion in a negative way, all right? We want you to switch to prompting to reward. If you do this good thing, then you will get this good thing. Your family will tell you what they want. Your kids are always saying, can I stay up for an extra half hour? I want to watch my favorite show. Can I have more time on my computer? I want to wear my favorite socks. I want to wear this clothing, not that clothing, okay? Depends on the age of your kids. I do like kids to pick their own clothing after a certain age, but still. All right, so I want you to listen to what your family's asking you for because they're telling you what will work as a reward, all right? So that's what we want to switch over to. And hopefully I'll get some videos up. I am still working full-time, believe it or not, from home, sick, yes! I do love my job, I must say. I really do, I'm not kidding. So, I'm going to try and get videos up on this stuff. But I would like you right now to start thinking about having regular family meetings where everybody decides what the family's goals are and what the rewards will be. I would like you to start prompting each other. Remember this good thing you can earn. Remember this good thing. All right? So that's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to go to rewards and positive incentives more than punishment and taking things away or punishing in other measures I don't even want to go into. All right? Please remember, we still need to think about diet and exercise. We want to reduce use of alcohol. We want to reduce consumption of sugar and starch. Those things will give you lots of energy that you have nowhere to use. Please keep up your exercise. If you can lift weights or do basic core workouts in your home, that's great. If you can get outside and do some cardio, just make sure you're either masked or staying away from people, but you still need to do it. Please remember that getting enough sleep is going to be critical to maintaining good tempers. Set the alarm, everybody gets up at the same time, and everybody can go to bed at the same time. Keep mommy from going crazy. Well, mommy, don't stay up too late, all right? So everybody, we need normal sleep, normal self-care. If you're going to have somebody going out of the house to get things, give them the mask and, give them a little quarantine time afterwards. And now Minerva the cat is here trying to disrupt my recording. So that should be a signal for me to say, everybody, stay safe, take care of each other, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.